my own modality out of the 16 certifications that I have that I call Tap into Freedom. And a lot of it is rooted in EFT, the emotional freedom technique. And that is, I'm going to take you through a mini tap today. So this is not a full practice. My sessions with clients are normally between an hour and 90 minutes long. We're going to do a 20-minute practice that will start to really help you to see new perspectives and to just help you to feel more comfortable with what it is, and to give you more clarity about if this is a practice that could work for you. So I like to describe EFT as a mind-body healing tool that combines acupressure, cognitive therapy, exposure therapy, parts work, and mindfulness. And so it's
Mm.
similar to acupuncture. Like I was saying earlier, you tap on the meridian points instead of using needles. And as we use our fingers to tap, we stimulate the somatic stored stress in the body. And as we do that, we give the body a signal that it's safe to feel and to release whatever is arising. I love this saying, you got to feel it to heal it. And so when it comes to performance anxiety in particular, we don't want to feel anxious and we don't want to like have these emotions. So it can be hard to even want to do this tap because you might not want to have to face it. So I just recommend being really gentle with yourself and know that this is going to help you release stuck emotional energy and process traumas and rewire limiting beliefs and create new neural pathways. And it's kind of like emotional hygiene for your nervous system. And it really helps with neuroplasticity. And so you're going to actually have a chance to rewire your brain right now around performance anxiety. I love this. So as we do it, I want to just start by telling you what the tapping points are. We're going to start at the top of the head with one hand or both hands tapping just gently and rhythmically, and then coming down to right inside of the eyebrows where the hair starts, and then tapping on the sides of the eye on the temples, and then under the eye on the cheeks. And then with one hand coming on the under the nose, and with that same hand tapping right on the chin. So these are all the points on the face, and you can do those, like I said, with one hand or with both hands. Then we take both hands and we drop down right below the collarbone, and we tap right here on the front of the chest, and they kind of go all around the front of the chest. There's a lot of lines that run through the chest. Then down below the breast on the front of the ribs. And this next one is the most awkward. It's the under the armpit, so out on the side of your ribs. So you can tap like this, or you can cross your arms and tap each hand on the other armpit. Then you come here to the inside of the wrist and you tap on one wrist. And then you come up to the thumb and you're tapping on the side of the thumb by the nail bed. And then you do that same thing for the index finger and the same thing for the middle finger, but it's different for the ring finger. You tap the bottom side of the ring finger. And that's because of the meridian point ending down here in between the ring and the pinky. Then you come back to the top side of the pinky, and the final point that we'll be using is to tap on the side of the hand. It's called the karate chop point. So those are the most comprehensive series of tapping points, and some tapping practitioners use fewer, but I like to use them all because it really gets to be more comprehensive. So if you've done tapping before, this might be a little bit different. And during this session, I'm going to be saying phrases out loud. And so you're going to repeat them after me in a call and response style. And so these phrases are going to reflect the thoughts, the emotions, and the experiences that you're working through, in this case, performance anxiety. But I don't want you to just parrot what I'm saying. You know, in school, we had to repeat after the teacher. It's not that. I want you to actually listen to what I'm saying. And if my words don't resonate, please change them to make it a word that fits what you're going through. So if I say anxiety, but you realize it's actually fear, please change it to say fear. Stick with what's true for you. And the most magical part as we get started is that we want to pair the phrases with statements of empathy and acceptance, such as, even though I feel this performance anxiety, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. That is not a thing that you usually hear together because it's a negative cognition paired with a positive cognition. I like to call it a mind fuck. It's technically called psychological reversal. But what you need to know is that we're going to have enough cognitive dissonance to shake up your performance anxiety pattern and open your brain up to change. And as we do that, your body may do some very silly things. It may burp or fart. It may get tingly. It may get really hot or cold. You may yawn. A lot of people yawn. I think I saw Elfina already yawned. You might get emotional. You might suddenly feel clarity. All of your body's responses are totally normal. It's called off-gassing. We're just releasing the stored stress. And also, one last thing is that sometimes your emotions will intensify before they release, and that's okay. Just keep breathing and keep tapping. You're safe. And this is just the beginning of your healing. So please know that this is a mini tap. And as we go through this, it might bring stuff up. And if you're feeling unresolved, I'm happy to work with you one-on-one or recommend other resources for you. But please know that in this session, it will be the beginning of a powerful change as long as you believe in it. So let's get started. Take a moment to close your eyes and settle in your chair or your bed, wherever you are. Take a long, slow, deep breath in through your nose, and then come out through your mouth with a big old sigh. And do 2 more breaths like that. Breathing in slowly through the nose, and breathing out fully through the mouth. And 1 more. Deep breath in. Soft breath out. And then with your eyes closed, just letting all of your attention be inward and go back in time, not to something traumatic, not something that's like a huge, big T trauma you experienced, but sometime that you felt performance anxiety in some sort of sexual context, and just bring it back to mind. And as clearly as you can, for a moment, just remember what you were seeing, hearing, feeling, smelling, tasting. And just notice, what were the thoughts that you heard in your head? And how is your body responding? Did you feel numb and dissociated? Did you feel closed and tight and constricted? Was your heart pounding? Were you cold or hot? Just be uncomfortable for just a moment, just so you can track it, and then see from a 0 to 10 scale, where 0 is it doesn't bother you at all, it's completely gone, and 10 is it's the worst thing ever. How much performance anxiety does this bring up in you in this moment? And so just go ahead and track that number. If you have your journal nearby, you can write it down. And then we'll begin tapping with that in mind, this performance anxiety that you've experienced. Coming here to, they're called the sore spots under your collarbones, about halfway down your chest. If you start rubbing, you'll sense there's just a spot that always feels a little sore. So rubbing your sore spots and repeating after me. Even though I have this performance anxiety, it is what it is. And even though I feel anxious, I'm open to the possibility of loving and accepting myself. Even though I feel this anxiety, I accept that it's here right now. And then come up to the top of your head and repeating after me, this performance anxiety. And tapping the inside of your eyebrow. It comes up during sex. Tapping the side of the eye. I feel it in my body. Tapping under the eyes. This anxiety in my body. Tapping under the nose. This anxiety when I think about performing in the bedroom. And take a deep breath. Make a sound of how that anxiety feels. And then tap your chin. I'm open to loving and accepting myself anyway. Tapping the front of your chest. This anxiety, I feel it in my where? Where does it show up in your body? Is it in your gut, in your chest, in your jaw, your belly, your heart? And tap the front of your ribs. I have this anxiety in my, and say it again, where is it? It is what it is. And tapping under your armpits. I have this anxiety. I can acknowledge it. This performance anxiety happens to me. And tapping the inside of the wrist, and take another big, deep, noisy breath. I'm open to the possibility of loving and respecting myself. And now we're going to go a little bit deeper. Tap the side of your thumb and get more specific. What is your performance anxiety about? I feel anxious about what? Finishing too fast, not squirting, not staying hard, not pleasing my partner. What is it? And tap your index finger and say it again. Yep, when I think about what? I feel anxious. And then tap your middle finger. Oh, I've got performance anxiety. Tap the bottom of the ring finger. I'm still open to the possibility of loving and respecting myself. Tapping the pinky. All this performance anxiety. Tapping the side of the hand. It happens when? Say it again. Coming back to the top of the head. I'm so tired of feeling this way. But it is what it is. I accept that I have performance anxiety. And I'm open to the possibility it won't last forever. So stop tapping for a second and grab a drink of water and just track in your body. Now that we've gone through this first round, what is the number of your performance anxiety? Has it increased? Has it stayed the same? Has it decreased? So just tracking that for yourself. So for most people, it starts to go down here. So we're going to do a little bit of a somatic check-in where with this next round of tapping, we're going to specifically tune in to the physical sensation that shows up in your body around performance anxiety. And so I'm going to use the phrase, this remaining anxiety. But if you still have a lot, just say this anxiety. Or if it's gone, then you can just say, I had this anxiety. But if you're like most people, there's probably at least a little bit of performance anxiety still here. So let's go to the eyebrow and start tapping again. This remaining performance anxiety. When I think about what? Tapping the side of the eye. I feel it in my where? Where in your body do you feel it? Does your yoni start to close? Does your jaw tighten? Tapping under your eye. And go even further as you stay with the tapping, but really go into that felt sense. Performance anxiety, you know you have it when your body reacts in what way? Just describe it as best you can for the next 30 seconds. Tap under your nose, take a really big breath, and just acknowledge this performance anxiety with a sigh. Oh. and tapping on your chin. I'm open to loving and forgiving myself for holding on to this in my body. And tapping the front of your chest, all over your chest. And see if it feels right in this moment. Just go ahead and do it. Just give yourself some forgiveness. I forgive myself for being anxious, for putting pressure on myself to perform. I'm sorry. I've been storing this tension in my body. And tap the front of the ribs and take another big deep breath. I love and respect myself. And tapping under the armpits. I love and respect my body. And then tap the inside of your wrists and just tune in to what might happen if you allowed this sensation to soften. Maybe direct your breath to this place in your body where you've been holding the tension that manifests as performance anxiety. So tap the side of your thumb. Take another big deep breath. Tapping the index finger. I give myself permission to soften this anxiety. And if it feels true, say, I give myself permission to start to let it go. And then tapping the middle finger. Open to loving and respecting myself. And tapping the bottom of the fourth finger. Just tuning back into that sensation. Is it still there or has it disappeared? And if it's still there, maybe it has something more to tell you. And if it's disappeared, maybe you have some new clarity. So go ahead and tap your pinky, taking a big breath. And then for the next 1 minute, as you tap the side of your hand, let this part speak to you, this anxiety. If it has something to say, let it speak to you. Or if you have new clarity as it's softened, let that clarity come forward and just speak it out loud for the next minute. Taking another 10 seconds or so, and then when you feel complete, get another big drink of water. And now that we've done 2 rounds of tapping, tuning in to the number from 0 to 10, how strong is the performance anxiety now? We're going to go into my favorite part of the tap, and we would do a lot more of this if we had a full session, but for this mini tap, we're only going to scratch the surface of the part that I'm guessing, if you're anything like most of my clients and like me, when you feel anxious, it's because there's a part of you that's trying to protect you. And that part has probably felt some kind of rejection, some kind of shame, some kind of embarrassment in the past around sexuality. And it does not want to feel that way again. And so this part is trying to protect you to keep you from feeling that emotion in the future. But most of the time, that protector doesn't have updated information. And most of the time we haven't paid attention to that protector. We just try to push it away or ignore it. So what we're going to do right now is we're just going to befriend this protector part. So we're going to get to go in and listen to it and have a little conversation to just speak to this part directly. So I like to start by tapping on the top of the head and imagining that this part has come out of me and is now sitting in a chair next to me. So you can do that, or maybe the part of you wants to be outside looking in your window or laying on your bed or somewhere else. But if it feels right, just imagining that you have this part here, and it's this part that is performance anxiety. And so just take a moment to look at it. And tap the inside of your eyebrows and just really look into the eyes of this part and just say, I see you. And then as you tap the side of your eye, just say, I know you're trying to protect me. And tapping under the eye, thank you for trying to protect me. And then tapping under the nose. I'm just here to acknowledge that you exist and to say thank you. And then tapping on the chin. And just notice how the part receives that. And maybe this part wants to say something back. Maybe it's like, hey, yeah, I exist. You've been ignoring me for a long time. Thank you. So tapping the front of your chest. And when that part feels done speaking, just say, thank you. Thank you for telling me whatever it is you need me to know. And then you can change these next phrases to be what's more clear and true for you, but these are ones that often people feel. Tapping the front of the ribs. Thank you for trying to protect me from being judged. Tapping under the armpits. Thanks for trying to keep me safe from rejection and shame. Tapping the inside of the wrist. You've been trying to protect me for a long time now. Thank you for working so hard. Tapping the thumb. I'm open to creating a new relationship with you now. Tapping the index finger. It starts by just listening. So tap the middle finger, and for the next 30 seconds, what does this part need you to know? Tapping the bottom of the fourth finger. I love and respect you. Thank you for letting me know. And then tapping your pinky. This is the beginning of a new relationship between us. I'm going to start listening to you more now. And you don't have to hijack me during sex anymore. We can work together to find a sense of safety. Tapping the side of the hand. I'm here with you. I love you, anxious part. Thank you for all you've done. I'm willing to create a new relationship with you, so that we both have more pleasure during sex. And then make a big old sound and give your body a stretch. Ah. And then tracking as you take another drink, what is the number from 0 to 10 that you feel in the performance anxiety realm right now? And we're going to close out the tap with instilling some positive possibilities for you in this new part that you've connected with, or maybe you've connected with this part in the past, to deepen this new relationship. So coming back to the top of your head and just repeating after me, what if I could just feel presence and ease instead of performance anxiety? Tapping the eyebrow. I am ready for that. Tapping the side of the eye. I give myself permission to be present. Tapping under the eye. I give myself permission to be agendaless. Tapping under the nose. I give myself permission to play instead of perform. Tapping on the chin. I give myself permission to be curious. Tapping all over the front of the ribs, the front of the chest. I give myself permission to enjoy every moment. Tapping the front of the ribs. My body knows how to have pleasure. Tapping under the armpits. I'm willing to listen. Yeah, tapping the inside of the wrist. I'm claiming embodied intimacy. Tapping the thumb. This is my birthright. Tapping the index finger. I'm open to more ease in my connections. Tapping the middle finger. I'm open to new experiences of pleasure. Tapping the bottom of the fourth finger. I trust my body's wisdom. Tapping the pinky. I love and respect myself. And then tapping the side of the hand. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. So tapping all over the body as you tune into how it feels to be in this new state of positive possibilities where you are able to play and be curious instead of perform. And that, my dear friends, is the end of our mini tap. And so I want to encourage you, listening to the podcast, to pause this and actually journal about what came up for you, what transformations you experienced. And I like to use the phrase, I came in feeling X and I'm leaving feeling Y. So I'll throw that back to both of you, beautiful goddesses, if you want to share how this practice was for you and any questions that you might have about it.
Oh, wow. I mean, it was superbly psychedelic. It was such a journey and so well-rounded. And that last, I'm still integrating. I'm still feeling like a bit fuzzy. So I'm like really coming back to my body and trying to articulate.
Mm-hmm.
But the last session of tapping, I was feeling immense amounts of pleasure to the point where I was like, am I gonna orgasm right now through tapping? I was like, it started to really like build, and I was like, this would be a new experience of pleasure for me, like without any clitoral stimulation.
Uh-huh.
I'm still feeling like superbly turned on. So like, wow, I just want to, I know there's more gold for me to digest from this experience, but I want to thank you immensely for, like, I really understand now what you mean when you say psychedelic EFT. I was like,
Mhm.
what is that? And you can talk about it all day, but until you
Mhm.
experience it and move through
Mhm.
the practice,
Mhm.
I'm
It's
like,
super
holy
psychedelic.
shit, this is powerful work, babe.
Yeah.
Woo!